Now, when I tell people I live in Southwold, the first question, can you guess? The first question is,
Bring your heart, bring your dreams. It's time for Southwold.
the first question is all about the beach huts. So you want to know everything about the beach huts and especially the cost of a beach hut in Southwold, which we will talk about in a couple of moments. So they say to me, what can you do in the beach hut? And there's not much you can do because there's no electricity, there's no running water, there's no toilet, you can't stay overnight. So they say, well, okay, all that, well, why would you have one? And before I get to that, what you can do and what is compulsory is that you can insure them. And that's important because we get a lot of flooding around this coast, okay? So you have to have insurance and thank goodness for that. When I had a beach hut, which was quite a few years ago now, at the end of the season and the beginning of the season, they used to move the beach huts by crane. And after a couple of times, I couldn't bear to watch it because you're seeing this quite expensive property being lifted up in the air and sort of taken to the other side of the pier. And, you're looking at it thinking, oh my goodness me. And then after a while, but now they don't do that. They have another way, a big tractor, and they have another way of getting them to the other side of the pier, where they think there'd be less worry about flooding and that sort of thing, really. So a couple of stories. When I was in Southwold chatting to people, as I tend to do, I was just speaking to one person and they said, yeah, we've hired a beach hut and it's got a really strange name. And I said, well, okay, what is that name of the beach hut you've hired? And he said it's called Aunty Bong Bong. And I said, oh my goodness, I am Aunty Bong Bong, because in my family, Ben, my nephew, when he was 4 years old, for some reason decided to call me Aunty Bong Bong, and that's how I am known in my family. So I decided to name my beach hut Aunty Bong Bong. And he was so excited that he phoned all his family and they came up from the beach hut and had a photograph taken with me, Aunty Bong Bong. Isn't that a lovely story? And that moves me on because the beach huts are named for a variety of reasons. They can make you laugh. There may be, I think there's one called All Mine, which she won in a divorce settlement. So there are things about people, about memories, about what happened to them in Southwold. And, it's an enjoyable thing to do. Look at all the names as you all pass on the prom and all the colours and all that sort of thing, really. I will get to the question of how much. But then they say, well, why do people want them? And I have to say, when I have sat in a beach hut, it does feel quite special, really. But the reason that most people keep their beach huts is they can pass them down through the generations. So they don't just flip them over for a higher price. They actually keep them in their family for a few generations, which can only be a good thing. And also why they're so expensive is supply and demand. There's no more room for any more beach huts on the prom, and therefore you have to buy what's there, and it doesn't get any cheaper, and the prices just keep going up. So yeah, I think I'm going to tell you about allegedly the price I heard last year about how much the latest beach hut. Are you sitting down? The latest beach hut costs. Okay, if you're not, sit down. Okay, I'm now going to say a figure. I'm going to a close estimate of what I heard this year. £300,000. Shall I say it again? £300,000 someone paid for a beach hut only last summer. And I want you to, contact me. Either you can say, well, that's a totally ridiculous thing to do because it's only like a shed by the sea. Or you can say, why not? Enjoy the money, enjoy the beach hut, enjoy having your family there, and just enjoy the experience. All right. So get back to me and tell me what you think. And I'm going to say it one more time, £300,000. This has been Janet Gershlick with Southwold Scribblings. Take care.
She's got laughter, she's got tears. Janet Gershlick through the years. Bring your heart, bring your dreams, 'cause it's Southwold Scribblings. Oh yeah.